Alright, now we're going to take a look at a composition of functions. You're sometimes going to see it as this f circle g of x. What that means is you're going to do f of g of x. Alright, so let's take a look at some examples of what that means. Alright, so let's say you're given the function f of x equals 2x minus 1, and then the function g of x equals x squared. And I want to find f of g of x. Well, right here, this just means I need to replace whatever g of x is right here. And I know that g of x is x squared. So that means I'm going to be doing f of x squared. Alright, so what this means now is since I'm working with this f function, with my f of x function up here, which was 2x minus 1, everywhere I saw an x, I'm now going to replace it with an x squared. So that's going to equal 2 times replace it with x squared minus 1, which is equal to 2x squared minus 1. And that would be my final answer. Alright, now the second one I'm doing g of f of x. Alright, so very first thing is right here, I have to replace this f of x with the f of x function, which we said was 2x minus 1. So that means I'm going to be doing g of 2x minus 1. Alright, but now I'm working with my g of x function. So since I'm with my g of x function, I'm using my g of x equals x squared. But now everywhere I see an x, I'm replacing it with 2x minus 1. So that means when I work with my g of 2x minus 1 function, I'm going to have to be doing 2x minus 1 squared, because I took what was with my x and I replaced it with 2x minus 1. That's equal to 2x minus 1 times 2x minus 1. So that means I have to do my first term, which is 2x times 2x, which is 4x squared. My outside term, so 2x times minus 1, which is minus 2x. My inside term, which is negative 1 minus 2x, which is minus 2x again. And then my last term, which is negative 1 times negative 1, which is a positive 1. Then I have to come in and combine my like terms, so that gives me 4x squared minus 4x plus 1. And that would be my final answer. Alright, let's take a look at another example. Now I'm given that f of x equals x squared minus 2 and that g of x equals 3x. I'm doing f of g of x. So very first thing is I have to take this g of x and replace it with what g of x actually equals, which is 3x. So that means I'm doing f of 3x. Alright, now that I'm doing f of 3x, that means with my f function, everywhere I see an x, I have to replace it with a 3x. So that means I'm going to be doing 3x all squared minus 2. So that means I have to do 3 squared times x squared minus 2, which is 9x squared minus 2. And that would be my final answer. Alright, for the second one, I'm doing g of f of x. So that means right here where it's f of x, I need to replace it with what f of x actually equals, which is x squared minus 2. So I'm doing g of x squared minus 2. Alright, so now what this means is since I'm working with my g of x function, everywhere I see an x, I have to replace it with x squared minus 2. Alright, so that means that I'm going to be doing 3 times x squared minus 2. So that means I have to distribute. So I have 3 times x squared, which is 3x squared, and then 3 times minus 2, which is minus 6. So my final answer would be 3x squared minus 6. And let's take a look at one more example. Alright, this example says f of x equals x plus 3 and g of x equals 2x plus 5. And I want to evaluate f of g of 2. Alright, so what that means is, first I'm doing f of g of 2. So here I have my g of 2. What that means, everywhere I see an x, I'm going to need to plug in a 2. So that means I'm doing f of 2 times 2 plus 5, which is f of 4 plus 5, which is f of 9. So now I'm doing f of 9. So now from my f of x function, everywhere I see an x, I need to plug in a 9. So that means I'm going to be doing 9 plus 3, which is equal to 12. Alright, now let's look at g of f of 2. Alright, so Now what I have to do is for my f of 2 function, I need to plug in a 2 everywhere I see an x. So that means I'm going to be plugging in a 2 right here. So now I'm doing g of 2 plus 3, which is g of 5. So now I'm taking my g of x function, and everywhere I see an x, I'm going to plug in a 5. So that means I'm going to be doing 2 times 5 plus 5, which is 10 plus 5, which is 15. All right, now what I want you to do, to the best of your ability, I want you to try 1 through 4, given that f of x equals x squared minus 9, and g of x equals x plus 4.